Here on Eurosport, we brought you the Group B competition from Norway, which ended just over a week ago. Now it's time to bring you the best in the world, the Group A finals from Stockholm, Sweden. Hello and welcome to the 1989 Group A World Ice Hockey Championships from Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Paul Ferguson. With me is Richard Beaupre, and our coverage here on Eurosport will continue for the next 2 weeks. Well, before we get into this game between Canada and the United States, let's take a look at the teams in the finals. Canada, Czechoslovakia, Finland, West Germans, the Poles, who have recently been promoted from Pool B, the Swedes, the current holders, they won it in 1987, USA, and of course the Soviet Union, who have won this tournament 20 times. Sweden, as I said, are the current holders. They won it in 1987. They have picked up the gold medal 4 times. The USA only once in 1960, but of course they picked up that magic gold medal in Lake Placid in 1980. Canada have won this tournament 8 times, the last time 1961. Well, each team will play each other once, and the top 4 will split into Group A to play for the medals. The bottom 4 fight for relegation, or rather to avoid relegation, into Pool B. One team will go down at the end of this tournament. Some games have already been played. Let's take a look at the USA against the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union moving from right to left. Fedorov coming in. He picks up his first goal with just 2:19 gone in the first period. A lovely pass from Mogilny. Watch this pass. Fedorov right in front of the net. The goaltender beaten cleanly. The Americans came back strong still in the first period. Number 8 right in front of the net. Thomas O'Regan got the pass from Curvers, number 5, to level the score. Curvers sees O'Regan right in front of the net, and the goaltender is beaten. Fedorov comes back again, number 29. A nice solo effort here, sharp angle, and he beats the goaltender. Midway through the first period, the Soviets lead 2-1. The Americans not out of it, right from the slot area. Thomas Korsk, number 21, put it in the net to level the score. On the replay, you can see him moving right into the slot area, 10 feet away, and he hits that far corner. There was no scoring in the second period. In the third period, well, who else could it be? 24, Sergei Makarov. Brilliant individual move along the right wing, makes it 3-2. Watch this. Kartalnov, one of the substitutes, he doesn't see a lot of ice time, picks up the 4th goal with under 2 minutes remaining. He goes down the right wing, and it's a backhand shot into the net. 4-2, the final score.
Play continues with Canada taking on Finland. Finland moving from right to left. They have the puck in front, unprotected is Wilander, and he scores the first goal of the game. As you see the replay, Yellinen moves the puck out in front, Wielander's on his own. As Canada comes right back, play goes in on the goaltender. Dave Elliott wide open in front, taps a rebound in. You see the play develop again. Both Finnish defenders go for the man with the puck, and Elliott's wide open in front of the net as it comes back in front. 1-1. Canada wasn't done yet as Brent Ashton moves right around everybody and puts it in to take a 2-1 lead for Canada. As you see again, Ashton cuts in on the goalie, makes no mistake, and it's 2-1 at the end of the first period. Finland comes right back in the second period. There's a goal by Jalonen to tie the game at 2-2. Still in the second period, Canada with a lot of pressure on the Finnish net. McLean is wide open in front of the net for the rebound. Another angle. Ferrero behind the net with the puck, makes a nice pass to McLean. He puts it in for Canada's 3-2 lead. Moving into the third period. Nickolainen with the shot, and it just trickles through the legs of the goaltender to tie the game at 3-all. The play continuing in the third period. Canada with a lot of pressure. Bellows in front of the net, makes no mistake on the goal. Cleanly beats the goaltender. You see that play again. Finnish defense has left him open. Bellows, strong man in front. Canada's back in front, 4-3. Play going on. Canada still with the pressure on. Dave Ellett with a big shot. Score, and it's 5-3 for Canada. Finland not to be counted out of this yet, as Wilander picks up a long pass and takes a nice snapshot to pull Finland right back into it, 5-4. As you see the play again, Jalonen has pushed that puck up to Wilander, and he makes a nice snapshot into the corner. Time running down, Canada with a lot of pressure. It's Howard Chuck with a lovely goal and a nice pass from Brent Ashton. As the play develops again, Ashton pulls everybody over to him and slides the puck to Howard Chuck.
Well, now let's take a look at USA against Sweden. In the first period, America draws first blood. A shot, the rebound comes out. The first shot was from Miller. Number 6, Housley, put it in the back of the net. On the replay, you can see the shot from a sharp angle. The goaltender bats it down, but the rebound is too much for him. There was no score in the second period. In the third period, Sweden came back strong. Carlson picking up this rebound off Dahlen's shot, and that levels the score at 1 goal apiece. Watch the player to the left of the net. Thank you very much. The Americans coming back in the third period, still not out of it. Right in front is Miller. O'Regan put it over to him, and they go into the lead 2-1. Sandstrom for Sweden, right beside the net on a power play situation. Eldebrink got it over to him, and that levels the score. The fake shot, the goaltender can't get over fast enough, and that's in the net. Once again, bingo. Berglund now comes in as the goaltender shoots that out, makes a bad play on the clearing pass, and that's 3-2. Berglund from Steen. The fourth and final goal from Sweden coming up now. A long pass up. Nilsson picks it up on a breakaway. Oh, and a cheeky little goal. Once again, a long pass. The goaltender coming out of his net, tries the poke check, misses, and that is so nice indeed. So the final score, Sweden 4, USA 2. Let's take a look at day one in the Group A finals. The Czechs tied West Germany 3 goals apiece. The Soviet Union over the USA 4-2. Canada beat Finland 6-4. And the Swedes beat the newly promoted Poles 5-1. Day two, let's take a look at the scoring then. The Finns lost to Czechoslovakia 3-1. USA again still without a victory. They lost to Sweden 4-2. Canada trounced the Poles 11-0, and the West Germans lost to the Soviet Union 5-1. So Canada still unbeaten, the Soviet Union still unbeaten, and we're getting set for this game between Canada and USA. And what a game this is going to be. So many prolific goal scorers out there, so many good NHL players on both sides. And of course, well, let's take a look at the World Championship table so far. Canada with 2 games under their belt, 2 victories, but they've got the best goal for and goal against average. 4 points for them and the Swedes and the Soviet Union. All 3 teams undefeated, but of course Canada with the best goals for and against average. As I was saying, so many good National League players out there. Canada, of course, would love to have Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky, and the Americans would like to bring over more of their players, but of course the Stanley Cup playoffs are still in progress, and the best teams are still in the playoffs. Sean Burke in goal for Canada. Mario Marois, a hard-hitting defenseman, spent some time in Quebec. Kevin Dineen, the son of the great Bill Dineen out there. Keep your eye on Dale Howardchek, prolific goal scorer, along with Randy Carlyle. All of these are NHL players. Andrew McBain is out there, and David Babich. Also, James Patrick and Patrick Verbeek. Ray Ferraro, a tough, hard-hitting, uncompromising attacker. And really, we're going to see a lot from Canada. And of course, let's not forget number 19, Steve Yzerman, who plays for Detroit, and he's third, or he was third in the scoring in the National Hockey League, just behind Gretzky and Lemieux. Well, we're going to take a look now at the American team, USA, as the teams finish the national anthem. Let's take a look at the USA.
There's a lot of experience in this lineup, as Van Briesbroek is a goaltender with the Rangers. You've got Brian Leach and Millen, Snuggerud, all Olympic players from the States. You've got Phil Housley, who's a well-known name with the Buffalo Sabres. Ed Olczyk skates for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pat LaFontaine, a former Olympian who does well with the New York Islanders. Tom O'Regan is a name out there that he plays in Landshut, Germany. Well-known American ice hockey player. Paul Fenton, an NHLer. Got Tom Fitzgerald, who plays the New York Islanders. Randolph Wood, teammate of his.
Well, the teams are out on the ice. Join us in a moment for Canada against the United States. Welcome back for the start of this, the first period between Canada and USA. Canada playing from right to left. And Richard, what a contest this is going to be.
Well, it should be a dandy, as both teams know each other. A lot of these players play against each other all year.
A lot of NHL players, as I've already said, out there. And Team USA playing from left to right. The shot, Scott Young drives it in. Number 2, David Ellett. Watch for him. He really is a rugged player. Likes to move it up. Playing for Canada. So the team's sorting themselves out. Millen now. Millen working his way in, looking for someone to pass to. No one there. Dineen. Muller. Snuggerud, who played on that Olympic team last year in Calgary. The Americans came 7th. That's a 2-line pass there. The Americans came 7th. The Canadians came 4th. They, of course, will be looking for better performances in this, the Group A competition of the World Championships. Canada unbeaten so far in the competition. United States looking for their first win.
Well, there's a lot of experience on that Canadian team, as a lot of these NHLers they've got have been around the league for a while as well, and I look for them to try and control play here from the start.
So Babich dumping it out. Carlyle now, a shot right on the target. So just a reminder that we'll be bringing you for the next 2 weeks the Group A competition from Sweden here on Eurosport. Oh, that trickles by the far corner. Players falling to the ice. That's deflected high into the crowd, and both teams having a goal at the goals, and they really do mean business. Let's take a look at this again.
As this play was set up, Pat LaFontaine made a nice pass across, and looked like his old player had been apparently tripped, but it was after the play.
Sean Burke in goal for Canada, getting his first taste of the action. Thomas O'Regan in the face-off circle, getting it back. Housley trying to get it in front. Housley working his way in. Tried to drop that back, picked up by Ashton. Brent Ashton coming out now. Working his way over Ashton, a lovely drop pass. And number 27, Ferraro, just couldn't put it in the net. He worked his way around, lost control of it, and back comes the Americans. Miller fighting for it, but he's taken out of the play nicely. Burke is barking out the instructions. You can hear him in the net. Ashton coming back now. A long shot whistles by that far post. Fenton trying to get a hold of that. Couldn't get the handle on it, and back comes Canada. So both teams with Marois now circling, wearing number 44. The team's changing on the fly. Stevens plays for Washington Capitals, dumping it in. Yzerman now, right out front. There's no one to pick it up. Yzerman calling for it. He's positioned right on the post. Still the pressure with Canada. Yzerman now. Yzerman, the number 3 in the scoring tables. Gallant knocking on the door as Van Beesbroek, who plays for New York Rangers, comes up with the puck.
Well, Yzerman will have to be watched. Everybody knows the talent that he has. As you see Marois with the puck behind the net. Howardchuk was wide open in front. Couldn't quite get the handle on that one. But the Americans are going to have to watch Yzerman and Gallant as they play together with the Red Wings.
So the face-off just to the left of Van Beesbroek as he looks down the ice. Babich in the face-off circle. Yzerman now taking over the center position. Losing out, number 2, Leach. Brian Leach picking it up. Back behind the net, not a good pass from him. Yzerman leaves it and cruises out front. Still, it's all around the Americans' net. Yzerman again. Oh, a lovely move by him as this one comes right out front. The shot is high from Howardchuk. Yzerman dumps it back in again, and number 17, Gallant, a teammate of Yzerman, is out there, and he's passing it all around. Number 24 now, Babich. Was right on the target, not a difficult shot. Yzerman dumps it back in. Still, it's Canada. Gallant now trying to clear it. Yzerman, still the pressure on the Americans' net. Babich. Gallant lets it go. The team's changing on the fly. Yzerman backhands that. She scores! Well, Yzerman had a defenseman right on him, but he put it in the net. So the first goal going to Canada, an unassisted one by Stephen Yzerman.
Yzerman, always dangerous, keeps his legs moving and rifled that backhander into the net. As he just kept on moving, the Americans seemed flat. Made no mistake with the backhander. Let's just see it one more time. Yzerman just keeps his legs moving and drills that backhander into the net.
So here in the first period, Canada draws first blood. They're undefeated in this tournament, and they hope to remain that way. Bellows in there. O'Callaghan cruising out front, doing a good job of defending, but Canada still with the pressure on. They're having a lot of time in there to move that around. Muller now. The USA coming back on the attack. Millen circles, looking for someone to pass to as he moves into the slot area. He winds up, takes the shot. It's kicked away by Burke. A good opportunity there for the United States to level the score here in the first period. Canada playing from right to left. an all-North American encounter. Korska lost out, and back comes Canada. A long shot wide of the target from Verbeek. Ellett. Olczyk turning, runs out of places to go there. Marois dumping it around to the far wing. Ellett moving up. Still Ellett. Housley is on him. Some good back checking there by Housley. Housley again trying to get that out, a pass into the neutral zone, and we're going to have a delayed, well, it's not delayed anymore. Offside is the call as McBain touches it for Canada.
Well, both teams dumping the puck in. The Canadians seem to have the pressure right on here as the Americans look flat in their own zone.
Early stages, but Canada looks good. As we look at the ice surface from way above the lights in this Globe Ice Stadium here in Stockholm, Sweden. 33,000 capacity. What a rink this is. A long shot that is deflected off a skate by Olczyk, and back comes Canada. Babic. Poke check nicely. Bellows now. Bellows looking for Muller, and he's found him. A shot from way back at the point. Hits a defender, and back for it goes Canada. Carlisle head manning the puck nicely. That just didn't come off. You can see the Canadians calling to each other. Get somebody on the far side of the ice. Back to the point now. A long shot wide of the target. Patrick from way back at the blue line keeping that one in. USA. Miller now losing out, and back comes Canada. McBain, a lazy shot in as the teams change on the fly. The Americans dumping that into the neutral zone, and really Canada has looked the stronger of the two sides here in the early stages of the first period.
Well, they certainly have, as they're just throwing that puck around and seem to be controlling every aspect of the game right now.
The Americans now on the attack. The shot kicked away nicely by Burke. Fenton getting a piece of that, and that could have been dangerous.
Well, that was a nice 3-on-2 situation that the Americans set up there, and Fenton got a pretty nice shot away.
So Fenton goes off for a well-deserved rest. Still 1-0 the score for Canada over the USA here in the first period. Let's take a look at this again. Fenton going down 45 feet out. A good save by Burke. Deflected out of harm's way into the corner. Penalty on the play. Mario Marois. He goes into the box for the first time during this tournament, and we'll be right back with more action of the first period after this break. Back to the first period here between Canada and USA. Canada leading by 1-0. Canada have Marois in the penalty box.
Well, it'll be a good opportunity for the Americans to get a power play opportunity and maybe level this score up and get into the game.
Americans playing from left to right. Housley. Let's see what they can do with their power play situation. Millen now. Millen looking for someone to pass to. He runs out of space, and Canada dumps it all the way back. Curvers going back for it. For those of you unfamiliar with the rules, as Canada broke right in, Curvers, Bellows was right in there, along with McBain. I was going to say, if you're unfamiliar with the rules, you can ice the puck. In other words, dump it all the way down the ice when you are a man short. So you'll be seeing Canada do that, I'm sure. Housley now. Housley works it across. A shot from way back at the point. Curvers kicked out by Burke. Curvers again, keeps it in, is right on the blue line, so it's still in. It's America looking for Housley. Millen is in there. A shot, they score! Millen, number 10, got that pass from Curvers, number 5, and the score is level. The Americans are back in the game.
Well, they'd looked for Millen a couple times before, and he got this pass low in the slot from Curvers and snapped a nice wrist shot into the corner. You see the play again, there's a little bit of confusion in front, and that appeared to go through Burke's legs. It's Millen from the overhead view. Burke not seeing a lot on that.
So the score level at the midway point here in the first period. Exciting action, no love lost between these two teams. Taylor, the American coach, congratulating his players, but he really does want a lot more from them.
Well, I'm sure Tim Taylor expects his team to move a little more than they are now, as he coaches Yale University, and he's been involved with the Olympic team as well.
The Canadians looking for that man at center. It just didn't come off. Ferraro, who plays for Hartford Whalers, was cruising in the neutral zone looking for that long pass and the quick break. Canadians winning the draw. Head manning the puck just a bit too far. This time it goes all the way down, and Beesbrook comes out and dumps it up to Scott Young. Scott Young taken out of the play. A bit too far for number 16, LaFontaine. Leach dumping it back in. The Americans still on the attack. They got a 3-on-1 break. This is nice. This is dangerous. They score! Mullen, number 19, got the puck from number 16, LaFontaine. And really going against the run of play, the Americans have gone into the lead.
Well, as the play broke down here, Canadian defenseman slid by. Mullen was right there. He made no mistake on this shot, as he had Brent Ashton right behind him, but he managed to get the shot away. He scores the second goal of the game for the Americans. In the overhead view, LaFontaine leaves the puck back nicely, and Mullen snaps the puck into the corner.
So 2-1 the score now. The Americans have scored 2 goals here in the midway point in the first period. Canada got off to an early start with Weiserman, but it's 2-1 now for the Americans, and they're coming back on the attack. McLean going in the corner, roughing it up. Ellett, that's kicked away by Burke. Marois picks it up. Canadians coming back on the attack. Number 17, Gallant, takes a long shot from a sharp angle. Weiserman is out of there again. Watch him, he's dangerous. Number 2, Ellett, that was a weak shot. He got the pass from Weiserman, but just couldn't make anything of it.
Weiserman will skate with that puck all day if they'll let him. He's definitely dangerous, and Gallant will cruise into that slot area. And on that particular play, Dave Ellett had moved up, and he's big to move around in front of that net as well. They've got to keep Weiserman off the puck.
Well, Ellett is a defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets, but he scored 22 goals during regular season play, so he can put the puck in the net. They're going to have to watch him. Muller in the face-off circle with Fitzgerald. Muller racing for it. Again, it's Muller and Fitzgerald. Brown tipping it away, but Canada comes up with it. A long shot, again from a sharp angle. And I imagine Dave King, the coach, has spoken to the players and said, look, shoot from everywhere. You're not going to score unless you shoot, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're actually shooting on some occasions from the red line. I mean, the red line that runs across the goal mouth. Wood, a long shot goes off Burke's stick. He was lucky to get away with that. Housley now is going to cue this one up. Can't get the shot away. He's shadowed there by Babich. Tries to get it out front. The deflection picked up by number 11, Dineen. Kevin Dineen is taken out. Now the Americans with the pressure on. Right in front of the net. Back comes Canada. 1-2 play there. Muller picks it up. Muller right in front. He scores! Number 9, Muller got that pass from Kevin Dineen. And the score is level here in the first period.
It's a nice play as Muller made this happen right from his own end. The puck went over to Dineen as they came down the ice. Dineen slid a lovely pass over to Muller, who just deflected it into the corner. The overhead view, there you see Dineen sliding the puck over. All Muller's got to do is get a stick on it, and he does.
The score is level here in the first period. 2 goals apiece, and it really is a good end-to-end contest. It's physical, but so far it's clean. We've seen here on Eurosport the Group B competition. But that, of course, didn't have any North American teams in it. And it wasn't as physical as this is going to be. When you see the Canadians or the Americans playing out there, it's bound to be physical. Snuggerud. Scott Young now. Young on the right wing. Young getting by Carlisle. Back to the point, the shot. Wide of the target. Still, it's the USA putting on the pressure. Carlisle. To the far side. Head manning the puck. Well, you could see what they wanted to do there, but it didn't come off. Snuggerud, who played on the Olympic team in Calgary last year, is back with the team again this year. So working their way in, a long shot, deflected away by Burke. O'Callaghan doing the damage there, and bodies are flying. It's starting to get very close checking indeed. Ferraro taken out of the play there by Mullen, going back for it. Daneyko. They're going to leave this one go, so number 7 can pick it up. Ashton. Olczyk now losing out. Close checking. Both teams having their opportunities here. The score is level, 2 goals apiece. Daneyko shooting that from way back at the point, and it's still Canada with the puck behind the Americans' net. Ashton forechecking. Back comes the Americans. Curvers. A long shot into the far corner. LaFontaine gets that out front. No one there to pick it up. And back comes Canada. Howardchuk. Weiserman. Howardchuk still out there. Teams changing on the fly. This is played at a good pace. Neither team dumping it down the ice to relieve the pressure. They're trying to bring it out, working out in 2s and 3s. Gallant now, who plays for Detroit, tried to get that in front. Housley comes up with it. Canada, offside the call. Canada, Sweden, and the Soviet Union still undefeated in this competition. There's the offside call. The player on the left, the far side, just preceding the puck carrier. Of course, the puck must be the first thing to go over the blue line. Later on, we're going to see the Soviet Union against Finland. Finland just losing out to Canada 6-4 earlier on in the tournament. And of course, Sweden go up against West Germany. And West Germany, always very physical, always very tight in their own end. They drew with Czechoslovakia 3 goals apiece on the first day of the tournament. So the puck being held there in the Canadian zone. Richard, not much in it right now.
No, well, you can see what both teams are trying to do. When the Americans have got LaFontaine out there, they like to lead him long with the puck. He's a real skater, and he can go and get it. He can set up the plays. And the same with the Weiserman line when they're out there for the Canadian team. They want to skate, they want to control the puck. The other lines on these teams seem to be just dumping it in and chasing it, feeling each other out at this point.
So the face-off in the neutral zone. Canada here in the first period. Looked good for, well, about the first 10 minutes of the period. Then started to go backwards a bit. Callahan taking his man out. Housley's out there. A long pass. Wood. Korsk dropping it. Millen dumping it around. Dineen trying to trickle that one out to Kurt Muller. Muller. Well, the pass didn't look like it was going to come off. Dineen goes right in, and a good save by Van Beesbroek. He got the pad right on it. It's a lovely play by Dineen. He made something out of nothing, and the action still going against the Americans. A long pass at the blue line. They drop back, and they take their time. Well, that was an aimless pass. Howardchuk. The Americans had a chance there to pull themselves out. Howardchuk has got the puck. Van Beesbroek was down. McBain was right there, but they just couldn't get the shot away. Mixing it up behind the net. The Canadians a bit more aggressive. 2-2 still the score here in the first period. The pass back to the point, backhanded into the corner. Allowed to trickle right through. McBain chasing it. He can't get hold of it. Danico still with the puck all the way down. And eventually Scott Young for the Americans comes up with it. LaFontaine on the backhand side, taken out nicely by Ellett. Danico works it up. Behind the net now is Canada, looking for someone to pass to. The far side, right in front of the net. A shot wide of the target. That should have been on. The goaltender was way out. McLean. McBain now losing out just inside the blue line. A long pass intended for Brian Leach, but he just couldn't find the handle on it. Going up on the right wing is Ashton. Two-line pass. And Richard, as you said, you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to go for that big break on various occasions.
Oh, that's right. As the previous shift, Dineen did a lot of work around that American net. And now you see the teams are trying to open it up again as they're making long passes and looking for a breakaway.
2-2 the score here in the first period. 31 goals from number 7 there for the Winnipeg Jets during regular season play. Just over a minute remaining. A slap shot. Deflected wide. Ashton takes his man out of the play. And Babbage comes to the rescue. O'Callaghan going back for it. Fires it up into the neutral zone. No one there to collect the pass. 1 minute remaining here in the first period. Canada trying to forecheck Curvers. He gives it up to Ashton. The pass onto the wing. Ashton's right in front. He's got the pass now. He's got time for a shot. He circles. A weak shot is right in front of the goaltender. He didn't see it for a moment there, but eventually Van Beesbroek picks it up. Gallant was knocking on the door.
That's right. So it's a nice play as Ashton controlled that puck for nearly 20 to 30 seconds. Here he is cruising around in the slot area. He's all by himself. He's looking for Gallant down low, who was wide open at the time. As Gallant's fighting and struggling for this rebound, it was Fenton who moved in to try and take him out of the play.
So into the dying seconds here, the score level, 2 goals apiece here in the first period. Tim Taylor, the coach of the USA squad, well, he must be happy with what the boys are doing so far. Dineen gets it back to the point. Still Dineen wrestling along the boards with Leach. From a sharp angle, Van Beesbroek comes up with it. But again, the Canadians no let up in their pressure.
No, as they're controlling the puck down low, Dineen is just tireless out there, and he's working the puck really well. Thought he had Muller down low on that play.
Kurt Muller tries to kick that back. Leach comes up with it. Just a few seconds remaining here. That's not out. Back to the point. A shot is kicked out nicely by the goaltender. So still Canada applying the pressure. Stevens now to the far wing. Time running out for both teams. Dineen still with the puck, and he tried to work his way out nicely. And there goes the buzzer to end the first period. A good seesaw battle by both teams. Canada drew first blood. The Americans came back with 2, and then Canada again. So at the end of the first period, it's Canada 2, USA 2. We'll be back after this break. Globe Arena play is underway here in the second period. It's Canada 2, USA 2. Still anyone's game. The crowd here are loving it. A 33,000 seat stadium. And they really do like their ice hockey in Sweden. The USA playing from right to left. Fenton trying to work that one in. Canada now. The race is on. Leach tied up along the boards. Deneen goes for it, but eventually Marois comes up with the puck. A long pass in. Muller still, that one's out, that's in the net. The pass came out from Muller, and Delos, number 23, was standing right in the slot area, and he banged that one home.
Well, Deneen and Muller have done a lot of work for this Canadian side in the first period, and there they are again. It's Deneen down low to Muller, who snaps a pass right out to Bellows, who's a big man in front of that net, and he makes no mistake with that wrist shot. There you see the puck going out to Bellows. Brian Bellows with the big shot, and he makes no mistake.
So Muller getting the assist on that one, and he really did do some good work behind that net to get that out to Bellows.
Well, this is not what the Americans want, to fall back this quickly right away in the second period.
Just 38 seconds gone when that goal was scored, and it's still Canada. Working it behind the net. It's getting physical with McBain as he wrestles O'Callaghan to the ice, and no one really wants to give up that puck. Still in the first minute here of this second period, 3-2 the score for Canada.
As the Americans still look very unorganized in their own zone, as McBain has the puck behind the net. O'Callaghan's trying to tie him up. There's no help from the center. The other players don't seem to want to get in there. The Americans have got to get a better grip in their own end.
So lots of support for both teams here in Stockholm. Back to the point. A long shot by Carlisle, and that's in the net. Carlisle took the shot. John McLean got the final touch. 4-2 the score. Well, with 1 minute and 7 seconds gone here in the second period, the Canadians have scored 2 goals.
Well, we were just talking about organization. The draw went right back to Carlisle, who you don't want shooting from that point. John McLean is camped out in front. He's taken out, but not taken out well enough, as he manages to get a stick on the puck and put it behind the goaltender.
So the rebound coming to McLean, number 15. He makes it 4-2. Canada getting off to a whale of a start. Well, you can see the time there. We're still in the second minute of this second period. An aggressive start from Canada. We're playing from left to right. Housley trying to slow things down. Wood now, Randolph Wood. Wood, number 11, takes a shot, goes off a defender, and back comes Canada. Up on the left wing. 2-on-2, and you can see the way the Canadians are getting in behind the American defense. They're breaking for the goal. No one's picking them up. Marois circling, getting it up now. Left for number 7, Ashton, in the slot area. Ashton's got a chance. He takes a shot, and that's wide of the target. Ashton was left all alone.
Where are the Americans in their own zone? That slot area is wide open, and Ashton was out there public skating.
Marois again head-manning the puck. That's an offside call. You can see the left winger, number 10, Dale Howardchuk, getting that pass, but he was way over the blue line. The puck must be the first thing to go over the blue line. Let's look at this again. There's the offside call.
Well, that offsides might be a blessing for the Americans, as they were trying to get a line change, and they better get a line change and get things organized here.
Howardchuk getting it back to Marois as they dump it up on the wing. Now, Fenton. He's taken out of the play. Young. Miller dumping it in for Fenton, but he just couldn't control it. Leach trying his luck on his own. Now it's the Americans with a 2-on-2 break. Fenton's right in front of the net, and that shot came from Miller as Fenton was cruising in the slot area, but Burke was equal to the shot.
Well, Kelly Miller made a nice move in that slot area. As you see here, he pulls the puck back away from Dave Ellett. Gets a nice wrist shot off. Sean Burke juggled it just for a second, but managed to keep it in the glove. There you see it again. Just a second, Burke starts to juggle it, but he holds on as Fenton was right there on the doorstep.
Burke, the goaltender for the New Jersey Devils, who are out of the playoffs. Dave King, the Canadian coach, talking things over with his assistants on the bench, and the Canadians must be happy now with their performance. As we see the officials, well, not only do they have to call offsides, icing, and break up fights, but they also have to fix the ice when cracks appear. Of course, they do clean the ice, they scrape it, they water it between periods, but every once in a while the game is in progress, a large crack will appear, and they do have to, if they find them, if they see them, they do have to mend the ice on those occasions. Now, Hawerchuk getting it up. Canada, 2-on-3 break, happy just to fire it in. Van Beesbroek pumps it all the way back to the point, but that's not out. And Aiko dumps it in. Still right on target there. And a lovely save there by the goaltender. Number 10, Hawerchuk, was knocking on the door, and he thought he put it in the net.
Well, Dale Hawerchuk doesn't miss many opportunities like that, and he's had a couple tonight. I'm sure he'll be seeing them later on in his sleep.
O'Callaghan getting that all the way back to Kurvers. Fired back in. Still wrestling for it. The Canadians winning most of these one-on-one situations. Gallant now, way behind his own net, getting it up on the wing, and that's deflected into the crowd.
Well, as you see the lines changing here, the Americans have just got to start dumping that puck in and try and make things happen, as they're very sloppy coming out of their zone. And the Canadians just don't miss many opportunities around the front of those nets.
So lots of action there around the USA net. Still in the second period, 4-2 the score. The Canadians came out firing on all cylinders, and they scored 2 goals within a minute and a bit. Stevens up on the wing. And you can see on these one-on-one situations, the Canadians are just a bit too aggressive for the Americans. Right now, anyway, they're far from out of it. A lot of ice hockey to go. And just a reminder that we'll be bringing you the complete competition, this Group A competition, over the next couple of weeks from Stockholm here on Eurosport. So stay with us and follow the Group A competition. Ashton. Stevens. A long pass up for Dineen, and Beesbroek gets to it first. The Americans coming back. Of course, the teams will play each other once, as the Americans try to get that right in front, and you can see the action right in the crease. There are a lot of pushing and shoving. LaFontaine taken out of the play, and back comes Marois all on his own. A long, high shot over the top of the net, going in for it. Brown. Ashton. Dineen now. Dineen turning nicely, tying up Fitzgerald. Kurvers dumping it all the way down. Back for it. Ellett touches it, and that'll be icing. Just a reminder that the top 4 teams, after they play each other once, will go into Group A. The bottom 4 in Group B. Here's the action around the Canadian net. Right across the goal mouth. LaFontaine was there, couldn't pick it up. Olczyk was knocking on the door. And then the teams play each other again in Group A for the medals. So a lot of action to come. Canada firing it back in. Still Canada with the pressure on. The Americans chasing, the Canadians leading. Right out front. No one there to pick it up. Ferraro now. Still it's Canada. Ashton takes a shot. That hits a skate. Douglas Brown dumps it into the neutral zone. Kirk Muller fires it back in, but that's offside. 4-2 the score. Still lots more action to come. Back to the second period of this game between Canada and the USA. Canada leading 4-2. The Canadians playing from left to right in the dark jerseys. Scott Stevens running into trouble there. The Americans putting on the pressure. They desperately need something now here in the second period. O'Callaghan. all the way back, and that's a two-line pass as O'Callaghan picked it up on the far side of the red line.
Well, that was good work from Paul Fenton and John O'Callaghan on that play, as Fenton got the puck behind the net and fed him nicely. There you see O'Callaghan moving into the slot there. He almost scores a goal on that play.
Paul Fenton plays for the Jets. So dangerous in front of that Canadian net. He's been involved in just about everything out there. James Patrick now. Patrick plays for the Rangers, taken out of the play. It's left right in front of the net. Howachuk takes a shot wide of the target, and that trickles out over the blue line, so they'll all have to come out and regroup. Offside the call. Canadians caught with a man inside the blue line.
There you see Scott Stevens working hard on the boards, but he's a little bit anxious to get the puck back into the blue, over the blue line. So he's a big defender with the Washington Capitals.
On the replay, the shot going wide of the target. And once again, we see the Canadians, who are leading by 4-2, putting on the pressure here in the second period. They went through a phase in the first period where they weren't really a together team, but that was only for a short period. Back comes America, taken out of the play. The crowd, you can hear the reaction. They're calling for a penalty, but no signal from the official. Dumped in by Gallant. Back for it, Snuggerud. Marois tries to backhand that into the corner. Snuggerud again. Still Snuggerud doing a good job of stick handling of that puck. Millen. Korsk. And you can see the Americans bunching from time to time as they try to get that puck out of the neutral zone. Ellett up on the left wing. Still working his way in. Ashton's out front. The pass went just beyond his skate. Marois headmanning the puck, but to Team USA. LaFontaine took the shot. Babic now. Still Team USA with the puck and the pressure. Leach hammers that one in. Olczyk. Scott Young dumping it back in. Mullen takes his man out of the boards, and back comes Canada. Patrick, a shot wide of the target. Teams are changing on the play. That is deflected high. Well, that's in the net, but the whistle blew long before that went in the net. It was tipped by a stick over the shoulders. Let's see this again. There it is. The deflection went up way above the shoulders. The stick tipped it into the net, but that won't count. It's okay in tennis, but in ice hockey, it's not allowed. Again, you can see two, and eventually they put it in with an arm or a shoulder, but really, that's not going to count, is it, Richard?
No, Brian Bellows showing a little bit of table tennis reflexes there in front of the net with his stick and his arm.
Herc Muller in the face-off circle with Thomas Fitzgerald. Muller wins the draw. James Patrick. Patrick up along the wing. Muller. Dineen now. Dineen turning, lays it for Patrick. Patrick working his way in. That's in the net. That trickled by the goaltender. And that's number 5 for Canada. Patrick, the big defenseman, came up on the right wing. And I think he feels lucky to get this one.
Well, it's a nice move for a defenseman here, as James Patrick neatly slid a little backhander between the legs of Van Beesbroek. And their fellow teammates, maybe he's worked on that in practice as they play with each other for the New York Rangers. As Patrick moves in, it just slips a little move through Van Beesbroek's legs.
So 5-2 now, the score here in the second period. Canada playing some excellent ice hockey out there. Brown taken out, and you can see the forechecking from the Canadians as Marois goes back for it. Wood chases him out of the play. but Stevens comes up with the puck. A long shot from the point. And desperately needing a goal are the Americans right now. Curvers getting over to the far side. A lot of aimless passes out there. Ashton working his way in. A shot from a sharp angle. That just trickles right in front of the open goal as Thomas O'Regan comes to the rescue. Curvers now happy just to dump that one out as the teams change on the fly. Marois, a backhand pass. Nice one by him, and he's really been able to thread the eye of the needle out there. As Ashton forechecks. Some good stuff coming from number 44. Carlisle back checking. Fenton. A long pass to Housley, and it just wasn't on the target. Gregory Brown to the blue line. Offside the call. Kelly Miller just a bit too keen to get that over the blue line, so we'll have a face-off.
Well, the Americans threaded that play through and almost had a goal there, but they've got to push the issue a lot more.
Dave King, the Canadian coach, an experienced campaigner. You can see the shot here just coming off the side of the net. The goaltender has lost it completely. He goes off his skate and stays out of the net. 5-2 the score. From this aerial view, we see the face-off. Howard Chuck wins it and gets it back to the defense. Canada on the attack. Stevens trying to organize something. Snuggerud. Some close checking here in the neutral zone. McBain now can't get by Brown. Brown as they mix it up in front of the net. Surprisingly enough, it's been a clean contest as James Patrick goes back for it.
Well, as the play moves up, McBain. They've got that line out there of McBain with John McLean, and they've worked well together tonight.
Well, as I said, it's been clean, it's been physical, but usually when these two teams meet, we see a lot more penalties. Babbage. Anything can happen, though. It's far from over. McLean poke checked out of the play, and back comes the USA. Mullen taken out nicely by Ellett. Pass intercepted right at the blue line. Dineen now on a breakaway. Dineen going in. Oh, and he tried to be just a bit too fancy. Went in on the backhand side and didn't get the shot away. Olchuk now for America coming up. He's got LaFontaine. LaFontaine working his way and takes a shot, and that's kicked away. Olchuk takes a shot, and that's steered into the corner. And that puck has been batted down. And so we're going to have a face-off outside the blue line. LaFontaine is arguing.
That's right, as you see the replay, LaFontaine getting a nice shot off from the pass from Olchuk. Olchuk on the rebound. There's a lot of confusion in front. And as Babbage throws the puck toward the corner, LaFontaine bats it down with a high stick.
Again on the slow motion replay, the goaltender coming up with a key save, and eventually another shot from point blank range deflected into the corner. Once again from the overhead view, right there on the target. The goaltender coming up with a key save here in the dying seconds of the second period. 5-2 the score. The Americans trying everything they can to put the puck in the net. 15 seconds remaining in the second period. Millen now squeezed against the woodwork. Curvers trying to dump it in. Canada will be happy to play off the final couple of seconds. 1 second, there goes the buzzer to end the second period, and there's the score, 5-2. Canada coming back strong with 3 goals in the second period. Well, let's take a look now at the shots on goal. As we do, remember, there's still a third period to come. Come back to the third and final period. Canada against USA. 5-2 the score. The Canadians in the lead, and play already in progress here in the third period. The Canadians playing from right to left, and the spectators here at the Globe Arena in Stockholm, Sweden, loving every minute of this Group A competition game. The Canadians undefeated, the Americans looking for their first victory. Burke coming up with a nice save. Snuggerud getting a touch of the puck. But Sean Burke has been strong. Let's look at this again. Snuggerud taking advantage of that loose puck right in the slot area. But as I said, Burke has been strong. So the face-off to his right as he looks down the ice. And Richard, the Americans with it all to do.
Well, it's been a good end-to-end action ice hockey game here. The tempo of the play was taken away from the Americans early in the second period when the Canadians came right out and scored a couple quick ones.
Gallant trying to work his way in on his own, loses out, and back come the Americans. The whistle blows, we'll have a face-off. Gallant, who plays for the Detroit Red Wings. Let's take a look at this on the slow motion replay. The infraction occurring just inside the blue line. Number 3, Daneyko going into the box, picking up his first penalty of the competition for Canada.
Well, Daneyko not happy with the call. He felt he just pushed Corey Millen right at the blue line, and the referee didn't see it that way.
So this will give the Americans a chance to put on their power play. Let's see what they can do. They trail 5-2 here in the third period. The rivalry between these two sides, of course, is very intense. They play against each other, most of them anyway, in the National Hockey League, or play together, some of them. And they know how they play, don't they, Richard? They really know each other back to front.
Well, it goes even beyond the NHL competition, as a lot of these players are scholarship athletes in university. And the university competition is very stiff, and they play against each other through 4 years of college as well.
And of course, you've played against a couple of them in United States and Canada.
Well, I remember James Patrick very well. He was a freshman at University of North Dakota my senior year at Clarkson, and he was a good hockey player then. He was only 18 years old. He's come a long way.
So the Americans in a power play situation, still without a shot on net. Looking forward to putting the puck in the net as they work it in. Mullen tries to get that out front, picks it up again. He gets a second bite of the cherry. That comes away across. Good defensive work right out front, and Mullen fanned on the shot. He was well positioned right in the slot area, and that one's dumped all the way down the ice. And Van Beesbroek is trying to sort out why they blew the whistle. A golden opportunity there for number 19 as Olczyk. Well, there's the reason. Number 9 for America, Eddie Olczyk, goes into the box for 2 minutes. Let's look at this again. There's the opportunity. Brian Mullen missed it. It was a bouncing shot, and there's the penalty. Olczyk for slashing.
Well, that could have something to do with the past season. You never know about things like that. As Olczyk and Marois kind of squared up for a minute. Maybe they've come together before in the last few months.
Well, I'm sure they have. As I said, there's no love lost between these players. They may play together, but as soon as they put on a Canadian jersey or an American jersey, really, it's all-out war. The Canadians leading here in the third and final period. They're happy just to pass the puck around. Ellett is hammered into the plexi. Marois now coming out. He's played well. Yzerman tries to keep that in as that trickles out over the blue line. O'Regan. The Americans now. The Canadians getting set to put their man back on the ice. Daneyko steps on the ice. Now they have the power play. Head-manning the pass nicely. The Canadians. Yzerman. You can hear the comments from the bench. Back to the point. The slap shot from Carlisle. And that's close to the target as they move it around. Yzerman has got Gallant cruising in front of the net. You can hear the Canadian bench yelling, you don't get many penalty power plays, so let's make the most of it. Back is Carlisle as he dumps it up the wing. They circle, they regroup, and back comes Canada. Power play situation, 3-on-2 break. Working their way in is Gallant. The shot right on the target. Van Beesbroek came up with the save. Not a difficult one for him, but the opportunity was there.
That was a nice effort by Gerard Gallant as he took on both the American defensemen, moved the puck way to the outside, kept his legs moving, and got a wrist shot off. Van Beesbroek had a little bit of trouble handling it, but he managed to hang on.
So the face-off to his right. The New York Rangers goaltender getting set for this face-off. The Americans still with a man in the penalty box. The Canadians with a power play situation. 5-2 the score. And the Americans happy to kill off this penalty as Stevens goes back for it. Stevens shadowed by Fenton. Howardchuk now. Howardchuk working his way over in the slot area, takes a shot, and you can see the American player getting set to get back on the ice as the Canadians put on the pressure. Another shot just wide of the target, and the Canadians buzzing around that American net. Back come the Americans as they move back into a full strength situation. Wood. Olczyk can't keep it in. Leach now to the far side. Canadians forechecking on every opportunity. They really aren't letting the Americans get their act together here. A long pass up the right wing. Olczyk. LaFontaine. LaFontaine taken out of the play. Still it's Olczyk. Now it's Canada. A 2-on-2 break. The Americans coming back hard. Ashton, a long shot. Van Beesbroek comes up, kicks it out, and the Americans come back on the attack. Offside the call. Leach took a turn just before he let that pass go. Mullen just a step offside, so we'll have a face-off. Here we go. The turn just over the blue line is number 19, Brian Mullen. So offside is the call.
Well, as Ashton just niggled Leach long enough to make that pass a little bit too late as Mullen was on the fly down the left wing.
Just over 7 minutes gone here in the third period. 5-2 the score. Housley dumping it in, but no one there to pick it up for America. Going back for it. Brown touches it, icing the call.
Well, Brown went back in a hurry as he saw it was Ferrero coming up behind him, and Ferrero's got a nice set of wheels on him as he's well known for his speed.
He can also hit. Ferrero, who plays for Hartford during the regular season in the National Hockey League. And that's how Van Beesbroek sees it from in his goal. I'm sure he'd like to see the score a bit different than it is. Back to the point. Housley cues it up, takes a shot, deflected wide as the goaltender took a punch. No penalty on the play. He really did take a swing at one of the players that went in front of him. It's not necessarily a wise move to skate in front of the goaltender with your head down. Ferraro, the backhand pass to the far wing. Canada getting it back to the point. A long shot from the blue line, right out front of the net. No one there with a red shirt on to put it in the net. Millen now. Snuggerud. Snuggerud trying to get it back. Offside the call. Well, they're bumping into each other there. You can see the look of frustration on Snuggerud. He didn't agree with that call, but really they're running into each other. There's no pattern to the American play right now, is there, Richard?
Well, they're not utilizing the ice to their advantage. They're kind of staying together. They're not spreading out very well. And the puck seems to be taking some crazy bounces as well at this point. I think the frustration's starting to show.
It's a big ice surface. They really do have to spread out and let the puck do the work. Stevens. Deneen. Deneen trying to get it across to Bellows. He was clear in the slot area, but he just couldn't get the pass. Bellows comes all the way back to do some nice back checking and dumps it into the neutral zone. Deneen chasing up there. O'Callaghan looking for Olczyk. Stevens now. And you can see the Americans with 3 players on that left point position. O'Regan trying to get that out front. Still O'Regan. They're bunching a lot. They're not playing good positional hockey. Fenton squeezed out of the play. Miller goes in after it. Action in the Canadian zone now. Babbage, who's had a quiet game up until now. Muller, Kurt Muller, works his way over, but he's taken out of the play. Now John O'Callaghan. Oh, a nice move, working his way in, a shot. And that's the best move they've had in a long time. Dineen gets it out. Muller now tries to get it to Danico. He can't control it, and back come the Americans, working their way in. Fitzgerald back to the point. Wood now. So action going against both goals. The Americans desperately need something now to get them back into this game.
Well, time is running out. They're down here, and anything can happen. It's been a good game up and down the ice, as we've said. One lucky break, and they could be right back in it. You never know.
Well, anything can happen in ice hockey. Goals can be scored in a matter of seconds. 5-2 the score here in the third and final period. But really, it's far from over. The Americans could come back. Working his way in with Weiserman, but he's taken out of the play at the defense. Brown getting it up into the neutral zone. Brown again, dropping it back. A long shot from against the boards there. Not on the target. Weiserman now on the left wing. Takes a shot. He scores! Weiserman picks up his second goal of the game, and that was a blistering slap shot. 6-2 the score. And the Detroit Red Wings star makes no mistake of this.
Well, Stevie Weiserman is so deceptive, as he's always on the move. He just kind of cruised all the way down the ice and got the nice shot off. Van Beesbroek was taken by surprise on that. He came in, took the slap shot. Van Beesbroek wasn't set yet for that shot. Stevie blasted that one by him.
Well, the shot coming from the wrong wing. He went down the left wing and put it by Van Beesbroek. Howard Chuck now looking for McLean. Ashton. Still, it's Canada, as there's no let up in their play. The Americans now bringing it over the blue line. They dump it in, but really the passes or the shots on goal are really not good ones. A lot of aimless passes out there and no one there to retrieve them. Well, some confusion there. Just I was talking about how well the Canadians are playing. Olczyk, a pass out over the blue line. He put himself offside, so they have to regroup and try again. It's a good defensive work there by Canada. Coming to the rescue now is Scott Stevens. Going back for it, Brown. Brown all the way up. Millen now. Millen taken out. Korska. Korska again going after his own shot. Ferraro loses out along the wing, but you can see the defense there. 3-4 Canadians back. As soon as there's any action around their goal, a long pass into center ice. Number 16, Verbeck, taken out of the play nicely. The Americans come up with it. Corey Millen up on the wing, still not out. A long pass to the blue line, and back come the Americans. But you can see there's no real purpose in there. If they're changing on the fly, but they definitely had a situation on the move there. They could have made more, but a long shot. Patrick Verbeek taking that from the right wing, right on the target. Babbage now. The pass wasn't controlled. The Americans coming back. Running into too many red shirts at the blue line. Weiserman taken out at the Americans' blue line. Dineen looking for Weiserman as he goes off the ice, changing on the fly. Scott Young circles, looking for someone to pass to. There's the score here in the third period. A strong performance by Canada. The Americans had their moments in the first period when they went 2-1 into the lead. Olczyk, O'Regan, and now Dineen slips, eventually gets it up. A bouncing puck. Richard, what do you think is causing that bounce? We've seen a lot of bouncing pucks out there here in the third period.
Well, the teams have been going up and down the ice pretty hard. It could be the ice has gotten well chopped up, or maybe it's warm in this arena, and you're looking at possibly warm ice out there.
The backhand shot wide of the net. Another shot from a sharp angle. Housley backhands it up but not out. That's caught by Van Beesbroek, and he says, oh, thank you very much, I'll hang on to that, and we'll have a line change.
Well, we've talked about the forwards in this game, and the Canadian forwards playing well together, but I think the experience of the Canadian defense is starting to shine here, as Babich and company are really keeping the Americans at bay. They're not crossing that blue line very easily. They're standing them up right at the blue line. The Americans just aren't putting anything together.
13:23 gone here in the third period. 6-2 the score. Danico takes a shot. It's high over the target. Brown comes up with it. Brown now over the blue line, the red line. Still Brown squeezed out of the play. Well, it's so nice to see as back comes Canada when it's a one-on-one situation. The shot, Howardchuk. So nice to see them playing the body. We said that in the B competition. A one-on-one situation, you stay with the man. Pass to the left wing. Wood squeezed out there by Patrick. So aggressive along the boards.
Well, that was just another prime example of the Canadian defense just taking the man, playing him out of the picture.
Well, you see Howardchuk here coming in. He loves to dipsy-doodle in front of that net. Watch this again. Stops, takes the shot, but that's wide of the far post.
Well, Howardchuk doesn't miss many opportunities, and he's had 3 or 4 tonight. I'm sure he'll be talking to himself later, as he's a very good goal scorer.
Scored 41 goals and collected 55 assists for the Winnipeg Jets. Not a bad season in the National Hockey League. And that's why he's out there today. From the face-off, the shot. Burke went down for that one. Curver's got a piece of it. They wrestle along the boards. It's still not out. Burke is all over the ice. He can't control that bouncing puck, and eventually he gets a handle on it.
Well, Brian Mullen looked like he was swinging a baseball bat in there for a second as that puck was bouncing around. He had a couple swings at it. Here you see the action in front.
All around the net. Burke is down and eventually right into the pouch. 6-2 the score. More action in a moment. To the third period here. 6-2 the score. The Canadians, playing from right to left, are in the lead. And the Americans, well, they seem to have run out of steam. When they played the Soviet Union, they were 2-2 at one point, and then they lost the game. Against Sweden in the third period, they were 2-1 up, and then they lost the game. And here in the first period against Canada, they were 2-1 up, and right now they're losing. Richard, what do they have to do to not only get back into this game, but stay the distance?
Well, I feel the stamina is there, as both of these teams, and the American team has played a lot of games this season. Everybody on this team has played a lot. I think it's just a question of getting a little more organized.
The pass there, the backhand pass from Gallant. No one there to pick it up. Teams changing on the fly. And offside is the call. So this could be the game that puts the Americans out of medal contention. If they lose this one, that'll be 3 in a row. The Canadians still unbeaten, the Swedes unbeaten. We've got 5 minutes remaining. 6-2 the score. And they really have their work cut out for them. And the Soviet Union, of course, are unbeaten in this tournament. So the Americans really have to go for it in the final 5 minutes. Ferraro taking his man out of the play. Canada now. Bellows takes a shot, scores! Well, that wrist shot surprised everyone. He had wingers on both sides, and that makes it 7-2. The man with the big shot gets his 5th goal of the tournament. Watch this.
Well, Bellows comes all the way down the ice, just takes that wrist shot that he's known for, and he scores a goal into the far corner. Here you see from the overhead view, he just takes a nice wrist shot. You try and tell kids to use that wrist shot. The goalie was definitely taken by surprise on that one.
Well, Van Beesbroek could see it all the way. It was a good shot, but really the goaltender came out nicely to cut down the angle, and he had a clear picture of that one coming at him. A boomer by Bellows makes it 7-2. Carlisle now. A long shot from the point. And the Canadians still happy to put on the pressure. They want the goals. They desperately want the victory. And they desperately want to stay on top in this tournament. They're up against the Swedes so far in the Soviet Union. Just a reminder to stay with us for the next 2 weeks here on Eurosport. We'll be bringing you a game a night of this tournament, and it really is going to be one heck of a competition. Canada head manning the puck. Lots of space out on the ice as they spread it out. Patrick takes his man out nicely. Dineen calls for it up on the wing. Dineen. Muller racing in. And Yzerman taken out of the play. The Americans really with no pattern to their play after the first period ended. The Canadians came out firing on all cylinders, and it's been that way since that end of the first period. Housley looking for someone to pass to. Wood now gets it out front, the shot coming in, and that's typical of the defensive play from Canada. Fitzgerald was right there. Yzerman working his way in. He's got Dineen now with the puck. The Canadians getting in front of every shot. Dineen. Yzerman again. He puts it in the net. Well, he took one shot. No one came along to dislodge him from that placing in front of the net. He got the rebound and put the second one in. That's his hat trick. Incredible stuff. Where were the defensemen?
Well, Yzerman so prolific, so lethal, and so controlled as he banged the first shot. Stood right there and had time to take the second shot. That's why these guys are as popular as they are. They're just so smooth and fun to watch. Dineen moved the puck nicely down to Yzerman, took his time, took one shot. Van Beesbroek looked like a dartboard there for a minute, and the second shot got by him.
2.5 minutes remaining in the game. 8-2 the score. And back comes Canada. Just a reminder that these teams play each other once, and then the top four go up into Group A, and they play off for the medals. The bottom four try to fight against relegation into Pool B. And right out front again, McBain twisted and turned, got the backhand shot away, but this time the goaltender came up with a save.
Well, it's 8-2, and the Canadian team still keeps buzzing. As McBain comes around the net, he wants a goal. Lost an edge, but still got a nice backhand off.
Good action coming from the Canadian side.
I'd have to say this Canadian team is definitely a contender, as they look very hungry out there tonight. I think the Russians and the Czechs and so on are going to have their hands full with them in this tournament.
Well, the Soviets, as I said earlier on, have won this tournament 20 times over the years since they came into it in 1954, and they're not going to relinquish their title easily. The Swedes, of course, won it in '87, but overall, the Soviets have been the dominating force. Coming up after this game, we see Russia taking on Finland and the Swedes going against West Germany. Can the Americans pull it back? Well, I don't think so. Back comes Canada as they still put on the pressure. McLean toying with it in the corner. Curvers comes up with it now. A long pass out to the blue line, and they desperately need some shots on goal if they want to score. They're not going to do it that way.
Well, as they're down 8-2, they're just dumping the puck in and happy to do it. And the Canadians are the ones up 8-2, and they're the ones that keep pressing for more goals.
You think it would be the other way around. So the Americans still in all sorts of trouble in their own zone. Scott Young is going to try to get something going. Dropping it back, a long shot held on to by the goaltender, Thomas Korsk. Not a difficult shot from him. Burke says, I'll hang on to that, thank you very much. A lovely ice arena here, the Globe Arena. Seats well over 30,000. There's the score and there's the time. Less than a minute remaining. Stockholm, the hosts for the 1989 Group A World Ice Hockey Championships. And what a tournament this is going to be. Canada, the Soviet Union, and the Swedes are all in contention, but don't rule out the Czechs, of course, the Finns, and who knows, what about the West Germans? The Poles are here, but they were recently promoted, and I think they're going to find it a bit too much to stay up here. We know already that Norway will come up from Group B. We saw that on Eurosport just over a week ago. What a fine tournament they had. So they'll be here next year. 15 seconds now remaining in the game. The Americans possibly a chance for one more goal. They take a shot from way back at the point. 7 seconds, 6 seconds remaining. The Canadians have played well. 1 second, there goes the whistle to end the game. 8-2 the score. Canada with a fine performance throughout. The Americans came on strong in the first period, but in the second and third it was all Canada. The Canadian flags are being held aloft. Richard, a fine performance from Canada.
Well, they outshot the Americans 46-40 and certainly deserved that win.
Stay with us. We'll have the highlights from the Russia-Finland game, the Swedes against West Germany, and the Czechs against Poland right after the break. Let's take a look at the other games played earlier on this evening. In the first period, the Russians against the Finns. The Russians playing from left to right in the dark jerseys. The Finns really have their work cut out for them. The Soviet Union so strong with that first line of Makarov, Larionov out there, along with Fedosov, who's back on the side, Kazatanov, of course, and the Soviets cruising here in the first period. The Finns hoping to score an early goal, perhaps two, and then hold off the Soviet Union, but well, let's see what they can do. Coming out on the play, taking out the defense. You can see the Soviet side with so many players back. The shot close in is stopped. The Finns coming back hard, but really can they stop the likes of Makarov, Krutov, and Larionov? Coming back on the attack, they certainly have a lot of support, this Finnish side. Coming here in their bus loads, their train loads, the Finnish supporters looking for a fine competition from Finland. The Soviets, of course, are the favorites. In the first period here, all the action going against the Finnish net. Krutov out there, Fedosov, you can see wearing that number 2. He's been out of action for so long. He had an argument, disagreement with coach Viktor Tikhonov. Good save there by the Soviet goalie. Tikhonov eventually allowing him back into the side. And the Soviet supporters are glad to see that. He's a world-class player. Wanted for a while to go to the New Jersey Devils, but possibly that's in the back of his mind right now. So the Soviet Union looking in control as they move the puck down the ice. A long pass right in front of the net, and the first goal comes from Bykov. Kamensky got the pass over. Number 27 makes it 1-0 for the Soviet Union. Well, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more goals in this game. A lovely effort there by Kamensky, who actually got the pass over to Bykov. They've given the goal, at least the Swedish television network has given the goal, but you can see the tip-in here coming from Bykov. Bykov skates right in front of the net, and from this angle, watch the touch from number 27. That one clearly goes upstairs off the stick of number 27, Bykov. Now it's Finland here, still in the first period. It's a power play situation. The Soviets down to 4 men. You can see them setting up that box, trying to chop down those white sweaters in front of the net. Tikkanen setting himself up out there. They come right around a shot from the circle area, and Tikkanen eventually puts it in. He got the pass out from Keskinen, number 26. and Tikkanen, number 11, scores the goal.
Keskinen made that play by setting the puck up around the back of the net, and he fed Tikkanen, who was all teed up in the slot. As you see Keskinen coming around the net, he looks, Tikkanen is wide open, he's all wound up for the shot, and he picks the top corner.
Well, there's a chance here that the goaltender may have been screened, but still a brilliant shot. From a different angle, a devastating slap shot that really a difficult one for a goaltender to stop. No scoring in the second period. Here in the third period, it's still 1-1, and I have a feeling a lot of people, including myself, thought this may be more of a Soviet runaway than a tie game the way it is now. This goal coming again from Bykov, number 27, got the pass right out front in the slot area. Khomatov, number 15, gave the pass to him. And let's look at this on the slow motion replay.
Soviet strength coming through here. As Khomatov is behind the net, there's two Finnish defenders right with him. Slides that puck out. Bykov picks his corner. He doesn't miss chances like that.
Khomatov again, working hard along that post, and that's in the net. So 2-1 the score here in the third period. The Soviets again with the pressure on the Finnish net. Power play situation for the Soviet Union, playing from left to right. A long shot from way back at the point is steered away. The Finns try to get it out, but they can't. Still all the action in the corner. The Soviets coming out with them perfectly positioned. The first shot is blocked, but the second shot coming from Konstantinov, who got that pass from Fedorov, is in the back of the net.
Well, the Finns weren't allowed to clear that puck as the Russians had stacked up the side of the boards with three men. And on that power play opportunity, they just controlled the puck in that end. As you see it here, the puck is controlled by the Russians. It's kept in the zone. The first shot goes off the goal post. Konstantinov comes in, he's all teed up for the big shot.
The goaltender makes the first save. He's down. He's right out of the play, and that's in the net. So 3-1 the score. The Soviets still with the pressure on the Finnish net. Konstantinov again buzzing around. Krutov is out there, Larionov, and Makarov. And it really is difficult to play against them. The Finns have tried hard. They've maintained the Soviet attack, but at times it really has been difficult for them. Makarov turning nicely here. A lovely back pass to Krutov. That's in the net. Konstantinov again picking up his second goal. A nice pass from Krutov, and that makes it 4-1. They make it look so easy.
Picture perfect passing that they practice so well, and they execute so well here. As you see the pass coming over, and Konstantinov, he's taken that shot many times before.
Krutov here, backing into the corner, sees Konstantinov skating in front of the net. Well, with just 5 seconds remaining, the Finns couldn't come back. The Soviets making sure of this one. The final whistle blows, and there's the score, 4-1. A strong performance from the Soviet Union. They scored in the first period and then came back with 3 unanswered goals in the final period. 4-1, and they really did look sharp. They did exactly what they had to do. They go out to congratulate their goalie, Milnikov. Now they remain unbeaten along with the Canadians. Can the Swedes do the same when they take on the West Germans? Well, we'll be looking at that in a moment, but first, let's take a look at the highest scoring game so far in the tournament, Czechoslovakia against Poland. This really was a one-way affair with the Czechs showing their class. The Poles, recently promoted from the Group B competition, go down 1-0. Stabiana opens the floodgates on this lovely tip-in. Back come the Czechs, shooting from all angles. Krohn picks up a goal, and that was the first of many for him. A backhand shot The rebound, the goalie's nowhere to be found, and that's in the back of the net. Dolezal picks up one here with the goalie cruising out of his crease, and they really did make it look easy. This is number 4 for Czechoslovakia as they bang it in off the post. In the second period, the Poles get caught daydreaming in front of their net. The goalie comes out, but Valek puts it in the back of the net. Watch this. He really didn't even know what he was doing there. Lost sight of the puck completely. The goaltender comes out, and that scoots in underneath him. Valek picks up another one right after that goal. That makes it 6-0 in the second period. And the scoring was so high that we are going to jump from goal to goal here. We're not going to show them all. 7-0. Ruzicka, Prohatska is involved in there. Watch this first shot. Hitting the far corner with ease. Ruzicka now going in, fakes one way and puts it behind the goaltender. 10-0 the score, and it's still only the second period. Now it's Ruzicka again, showing his world class. He's been on the Czech side for years, really knows what to do when he's out there. Janicki, Otakar Janicki makes it 11 on that long shot on the goaltender. Well, this one has to be down to the goalie. Completely lost it, trickled over the red line. Not a difficult shot, should have got his pads behind it. As you can see, it trickles right between the pads into the open net. Valek is left alone in front of the net. He makes it 13 for Czechoslovakia. Still, it's Czechoslovakia putting on the pressure. Now Ruzicka, here in the third period, squeezing it by the goaltender. Hasek, from a sharp angle, hits that far post, and that makes it 15. An incredible rout for Czechoslovakia over Poland, and Poland are going to find it difficult to stay in Pool A if they continue to play like this.
The next game saw Sweden taking on West Germany. The Swedes with all that finesse and skating as Nilsson comes down the ice, walks through everybody, beats the goalie for the first goal for the Swedes. As you see, Nilsson, he had gone the length of the ice on this play, beat the defenseman, went in on the goalie, who was left alone. The Germans were to come back, though, as Fischer made a pass, and from a sharp angle, Franz gets it off. The goalie appeared to have it, but couldn't hold on to it, and it's in the back of the net for a tie game. As you see, Franz, he's at a sharp angle, takes the slap shot. The goalie's got a piece of it, but can't contain it, and it gets behind him. As he lunges for it, his momentum carries the puck into the net. 1-1. Action moves into the second period. The Swedes skating well. They're moving the puck up the ice. Eriksson with a shot. Stromwell is on the rebound. It's 2-1 for the Swedes. As you see, Eriksson moving in on the German defender. Gets the shot off. Rebound comes right out. Stromwell is right there in the rebound. The man cannot keep him off. Later on in the period, Berglund comes down, takes the big shot from the high slot, makes it 3-1 for the Swedes. Worked his way through the German defenders, got the big slap shot off. The goalie didn't have a chance. Germans weren't out of this one yet, because we're in the third period now. A lot of pressure around that net. Holtzman finds the back of the net as the puck comes off the backboards. You see the slap shot being taken by Kreis from the point. The puck comes off the backboards from a sharp angle. Holtzman's on the rebound. 3-2. The Germans are still pressing. They're not out of this one yet. Puck is moved over to Heimer. The big slap shot, and he beats the goalie clean on the glove side to tie the game.
Well, let's take a look at the table. The Canadians and the Soviet Union still unbeaten with 3 wins in 3 outings. They both have 6 points, but the Canadians on top because they have a better goal against average. The Czechs in third, the Swedes in fourth, and way down at the bottom, Finland, USA, and Poland still looking for their first victories. The Soviet Union against Poland coming up, West Germany against Canada, USA, Czechoslovakia, and Finland against Sweden. What a game that's going to be. Until then, from Richard Beaupre and myself, Paul Ferguson, bye for now.
We'll be back in Stockholm tomorrow night for more World Championship Ice Hockey.